Hey, beautiful friends. This is Sarah Blumenfeld with Networking Done Different and Outreach of and Invitation to More.com. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Connie Ricketts, Executive Director of CASA of Galveston County. And in the next few minutes, you're going to learn about all that organization offers and how you can help. Hey, Connie.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for inviting CASA to be a part of your show today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us what it is.
So CASA is a national volunteer organization, and CASA of Galveston County is a local program here in Texas. And in Texas, there are 72 local programs, and we train community volunteers to serve as the best interest guardian for children who have experienced abuse and neglect and are in the foster care system.
Oh,
And
wow.
our volunteers come from all around our community.
Okay. So what do these children have to go through that your volunteers help them with?
So children who experience foster care are often behind in school, have experienced multiple complex traumas, and just need a trusting adult to walk alongside them during this time when they may be away from their parents. The child welfare system really looks to engage family as often as possible to surround the child while they are away from their parents. And a CASA volunteer is their best interest voice. They have an attorney that expresses their wishes to the court, but CASA is their best interest advocate. And sometimes those are the same, and sometimes those are different. And so our volunteers get to know everything about the child. They get to know the child first, and they get to know their parents. They get to know their other family members that may be involved. They talk to their teachers. They get to know their medical history. They talk to anyone that has some connection to the child. And that way they can gather enough information to look at what does the child need? How is the child doing? And make those types of recommendations to the court. And many times our recommendations are made to the court, but we work outside of court into the community to foster those things the child needs. So whether it's clothing or special things in the school, we work with our partners in the community to support children in foster care. So not all of our work is inside the court. Most of our work is outside in the community, finding ways to lift children up.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. How did you get involved with the organization?
So back in 1991, my husband and I became foster parents to build our family through adoption. And so during that process, two of our children had a CASA volunteer. And I learned so much about CASA and the voice that the child had in court, differently than what a foster parent could provide. And so after we adopted our third child and closed our home as foster parents, I became a CASA volunteer. And I've been in the volunteer network, the CASA network, since 1998.
Oh, wow. You have a lot of experience.
I've served many roles within the CASA network. I've been a volunteer for many years. Yeah. I have served on local boards. I was a program director of a CASA program for 8 years in Massachusetts when we moved away. And then when we came back to Texas, I found the local program here in Galveston County, and I've been the executive director for 7.5 years. And I've been with the program for 8 years.
So when the CASA volunteer is working with the child, is there a set period of time, or is there once this outcome is achieved, then that relationship ends, or how does that go?
Yeah, so we're court appointed, just like our name. And so when the court opens a case for a child that's been removed from their home, that's when we are appointed. by
Okay.
the court. And so we remain involved until the court closes the case. And federal law says that the case must be resolved no later than 18 months. But sometimes parents, it takes them a little time to begin services for reunification. So sometimes cases can stay open till 2 years. But generally, once the case closes and the child finds permanency, whether that is reunification, permanency with a family member, or adoption, then the CASA steps away.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So does the relationship between the volunteer and the child have to end, or does it sometimes continue like as a friendship?
So yes, from the legal standpoint, it ends, but from a friendship standpoint, it can continue as long as the child wants that relationship to continue. And you
Okay.
often see that with our older youth who don't find permanency in the, adoption or reunification. They age out into independent living
Mm,
and from foster care. And so the CASA has been their most consistent adult present in their life throughout their journey. And they've
yeah.
come to rely on them to answer questions or guide them and just be in their life. So oftentimes you see that relationship blossom for many years to come.
Mm-hmm. What do you look for in a volunteer?
We look for volunteers who are community members who just have a passion for children and want to invest the time to learn about them and their family and what could strengthen their family relationship for reunification. There's no specific credentials other than you have to be 21 years of age and have the time to invest.
And approximately how much time would that be, say, per week or per month?
So for a volunteer, it's always hard to say per week or per month. But in general, it's about 10 to 15 hours. And I always hesitate.
Per week or per month?
Per month.
Okay.
10 to 15 hours per month.
Okay.
And I always hate to put a number to that because there are many times that an advocate may spend 40 hours a month because there is so much happening and the needs of the child are so much greater. Or they have a court report that's due to the court. And so it takes a little longer at the very end to get that ready for filing. But also it's your personal investment in the family and how you want to make that difference in their life. So that's hard to put a number.
Yeah. In general, does a volunteer have responsibility only for one person at a time, one child at a time?
It's usually for the family.
Okay.
So if it's one
But within that
sibling,
family, they wouldn't have a family and a different family.
so generally they just have one family and it
Okay.
might be more than one child
Okay.
in that family.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. What other volunteer opportunities do you have in your organization?
So in our organization, we also have outreach volunteers who can't be the unique volunteer, but they can go out and help us spread the word, be part of our teams that set up at different events throughout the community, but still want to share about CASA, but just don't have the time to invest in the day-to-day advocacy that happens.
So tell us what CASA stands for.
Court Appointed Special Advocate.
Okay. If a child does not have one of these, how is their experience different?
Well, research shows that children without a CASA don't have the academic outcomes that children that do have a CASA. Because the CASA volunteer spends a lot of time ensuring that they are in the right education setting, that they're getting any special services that they might require or special accommodations, which allows them to be more successful. Because we know that children who have experienced trauma may have needs in certain settings to support them. And so a CASA volunteer knows that, and so their academic success is all usually greater.
Okay.
Sometimes children are less likely to linger in foster care and find permanency quicker. And they're less likely to become incarcerated because they have a supportive adult that's looking out for them. And so they have someone that is there to talk to them and to guide and, really empower them to be who they want to be.
Yeah.
So they're less likely to, find other ways to find that support.
Yeah. Oh, well said.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really passionate about what we do, and I know that we do make a difference. I see it every day when a CASA volunteer spends that extra amount of time to make sure the child has what they need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
What's the age range of the children that use the program?
So we're appointed to children 0 to 21.
Oh, okay.
In the foster care system, even when you turn 18, you can remain under the jurisdiction of the court until you're 21. That
Okay.
way, the court still has, well, really, the youth has an opportunity to come and tell the judge, things are not going my way. Can you help me? And the judge can help in that regard. So we, in Galveston County, our judge in the 306 District Court, who oversees the child protection cases, appoints a CASA as the guardian ad litem to every case that comes before her for children in foster care. So CASA is very grateful to be able to serve all of the children in Galveston County that need us.
Wow, that's amazing. Is there such an organization in Houston as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, there's 72 programs in Texas and all the surrounding counties around Galveston. There's a program in Harris County. There's a program in Fort Bend County. There's a program that is Gulf Coast CASA. They are Brazoria, Wharton, Matagorda, and there's Liberty Chambers in Montgomery County.
Oh, fantastic. So this program itself has been around a long, long time, it sounds like.
Yes, ma'am. The first CASA program started back in 1977 in Seattle, Washington, when a judge was on the bench and hearing from many professionals in the courtroom. And he thought, I really need to get the community involved because I'm not sure I have all of the information that I need to make these difficult decisions about the lives of children.
Yeah.
And so he set out to talk to friends in his community. And the first CASA program was formed back in 1977. And across the nation, there's more than 950 programs.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yes.
Wonderful when somebody says a need and it's like, okay, I'm going to take care of this.
Yes, it
We're
really
going to
is
do something
remarkable.
here.
And that's how local programs are developed as well. And in Texas, I believe we are in 240 something counties. So there are still counties not being served, but it really takes someone that says, I like that model and I'm going to make sure that our children have that CASA volunteer looking out for their best interest. And just in the last year, 2 new programs started in Texas, and that's why we're at the number we're at.
Excellent. That's awesome.
So it is in CASA of Galveston County. It started more than 30 years ago, and it sat under another nonprofit for about 25 years. And in 2014, a group of volunteers that were CASA volunteers worked with our state association and came out from under the umbrella organization to form their own independent nonprofit. So we've been in existence as a local nonprofit on our own since September of 2014.
Okay. So 10-year anniversary next year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Big party,
I
big
know.
party.
Big party. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand you have a event coming up in early December. Tell us a little about that.
Yes, our Walk a Mile in My Shoes. It is our 8th annual event, and it's taking a walk in the shoes of a child in foster care. And we featured 2 children, Max and Kara, and it's through their voice that they share with the walkers what their CASA volunteer did for them, how they shared what they wanted and what they needed to the court, and how their volunteer was their voice. And so the event is on December 2nd. It's at the Rotary Pavilion on the grounds of the Doyle Center in Texas City. And we have wonderful turnout. It's a great way to just come out and meet other volunteers, learn more about what we do. You get a fun warm up from our friends at the Nestler Center or the Lowry Center there in Texas City. And we just take our mile walk and we just sort of reflect on all the ways we can make a difference in the life of the child who needs us.
Do people need to register in advance for that?
Yes, ma'am. You register online at casagalveston.org, and the registration is $25. It is family and pet friendly, and we will have giveaways, and we hope to see you. We start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's an early morning walk. Get your exercise in, meet new friends, and maybe it will inspire you to either become a volunteer. And if you would like to become a volunteer, you can visit our website. We host in-person and informational sessions, in-person and online informational sessions, so you can learn the process of becoming a volunteer. Because besides filling out an application and background checks, there's 35 hours of training, and there's court observation, and you are not alone in your journey. You are, once you become a volunteer, we have paid supervisors that help guide and coach you through your advocacy journey for the children that you're serving. So that is another way to learn more about what that looks like by walking a mile in my shoes on December 2nd.
Nice. Other than volunteers, how is your organization supported?
So our organization is supported through some state funds that pass through our state association, Texas CASA, and that only makes up 40% of the funding. And the other 60% is funded through foundations, individual contributors, donations, and our fundraising activities. And the walk is one of 3 major fundraisers that we have. We have sponsorships available, and obviously the registration to walk for $25.
What are the other 2 fundraisers that you have?
So in April, which is Child Abuse Awareness Month, Child Abuse Awareness Prevention Month, we host a candlelight vigil, which is free to the public at the courthouse in Galveston, where our cases are heard. And then we have a couple of different ways to get involved. We partner with coffee shops, and we have coffee sleeves that have our logo and ways that you can donate through the coffee shops. And we started that last year, and we hope to expand that more this next April 2024. And then we have a shirt, our We Give a Shirt campaign, and that you can buy a shirt. We hope that you wear it. You post it on Facebook, send us your picture, and we try to promote that all throughout the month. And that's also a way for businesses and organizations and groups to purchase the shirts and really get behind the mission of just raising awareness about child abuse. And then in the summertime, we hold an annual, well, in the past, we've held an annual dinner fundraiser, and we have honored local partners in the community that have been, you know, I wouldn't say they are CASA supporters, but maybe not in a financial way, you know,
Mhm.
more in supporting our mission, just in the way they interact in our community.
Yeah. Do you have more children needing an advocate than you have advocates?
Yes, ma'am.
I
We do.
figured.
We need more volunteers, and you know, volunteerism is a commitment, and I don't want to, you know, miscommunicate that. This is a real personal commitment
Yeah.
to staying in the life of that child for the longevity of the time they're in foster care, because they need those supportive relationships that are
Mm.
built through those interactions on a monthly basis, or however frequently you're able to visit them, and in different settings, whether it's in school or in their placement or at their football game or their volleyball game or at their music, or, you know, just other activities that CASA volunteers attend.
Yeah.
But we need community members because they're our neighbors. They are children that our own children go to school with. They're in our faith communities, and so they are our children, and we should take the time to step up and make that difference.
Well, I'm glad that you really emphasized there that this is a commitment, that once you get in the program and are assigned someone to work with, that you need to be ready, willing, and able to stay with them until the end of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It means a lot to the child, because
Yeah.
you can imagine a child that came into foster care, that they have they've experienced a lot of loss, and most of that loss they feel responsible for,
Yes.
whether
Yes.
they made an outcry or they told someone something. So oftentimes they feel very guilty.
Mhm.
And so when someone comes in their life and leaves, they're wondering if they did something wrong, and it is never their fault. And this situation is often by no fault of their own, or always by no fault of their own. So that's why it's so important that we, you know, continue that relationship with the child till the end, and they know, and then the advocate can kind of let the child go and know, hey, you know, we did this together, and now you're ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. What else do we need to know about CASA of Galveston County?
Oh, well, CASA really is. We also offer a lot of, you know, training for our volunteers. We have networking opportunities so that you don't feel alone in the community as a volunteer. We have a support group called CASA Companions. We really try to lift our volunteers up, because we know it's hard work and stories are difficult some days and celebratory others. So we want to make sure that we're there for both. So we are a supportive group. It's a 12 staff team. We all really embrace our volunteers and our community, because we need our community to help us, you know, find the resources to bring families back together.
Yeah. Yeah. How can people get, do you have a newsletter list or something that people can get on, or just find information?
You can go to our website at casagalveston.org, and right there you can join our mailing list, and we send out community newsletter 4 times a year. And then we send out communication when we are, you know, building up to our walk, or during Child Abuse Awareness Month, it's a little more frequent. But in general, we try to just send out 4 big newsletters a year. You can look at our website under volunteer tab, and it gives you all the instructions on, you know, how to attend an informational session, what the steps are to become a volunteer. If you're already ready to jump in, you can just submit your application straight from the website. You can go to the About page and find staff. My name is on there, my email. Feel free to reach out, ask any questions. I'm happy to help. Our board list is on there. You might know someone from there. But give us a call, let us know what you're interested in. We would love to talk more about CASA and how you can be involved.
Fantastic. Well, Connie, thank you so much for being with us and sharing this great information. It sounds like a wonderful organization that's very much needed in our community.
Well, thank you, Sarah, so much for inviting CASA to be a part of your show today. And I really appreciate the opportunity to share more about my passion.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends, for tuning in. Always appreciate you taking the time. If you would like to be interviewed, please email me at networkingdonedifferent@gmail.com. See you next time.